बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल।
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रील प्रभुपाद।
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय श्रील प्रभुपाद।
गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
दैवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु वभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
भगवति उत्तम श्लोके
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
We're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter number 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti, text number 27. Namo Kinchana Vitaya
नमो किंचिन विताय
Nivrita Gunavritaye
निर्वृता गुणवृतये
Atmaramaya Samtaya
आत्मरामाय समताय
Kaivalya Pataye Namah.
कैवल्यपतये नमः।
Namo Kinchana Vitaya
नमो किंचिन वित्ताय
Nivrita Gunavritaye
निर्वृता गुणवृतये
Atmaramaya Santaya
आत्मरामाय समताय
Kaivalya Pataye Namah.
कैवल्यपतये नमः।
Namo Kinchana Vitaya
नमो किंचन विताय
Nivrita Gunavritaye
निर्वृता गुणवृताये
Atmaramaya Santaya
आत्मरामाय संताय
Kaivalya Pataye Namah.
कैवल्यपतये नमः। नमो किंचन विताय
Namo Kinchana Vitaya
निर्वृत गुणवृतये
Nivrita Gunavritaye
आत्मरामाय संताय
Atmaramaya Santaya
कैवल्यपतये नमः।
Kaivalya Pataye Namah. Namah.
नमः।
All obeisances unto you.
All obeisances unto you.
Akinchana Vitaya.
Kinchana vitaya.
Unto the property of the materially impoverished.
Unto the property of the materially impoverished.
Nivrita.
Nirvrita.
Completely transcendental to the actions of the material modes.
Completely transcendental to the actions of the material modes.
Guna.
Guna.
Material modes.
Material modes.
Vritaya.
Vritaya.
Affection.
Affection.
Atma Aramaya.
Atma aramaya.
One who is self-satisfied.
One who is self-satisfied.
Santaya.
Santaya.
The most gentle.
The most gentle.
Kaivalya Pataye.
Kaivalyapataye.
Unto the master of the monas.
Unto the master of the monas.
Nama.
Nama.
Bowing down.
Bowing down.
Translation. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monads. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be, in the real sense of the term, a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world, not for nothing, but for something tangible in spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. They were big men in the worldly sense. The Goswamis were ministers in the government service of Bengal, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of a big zamindar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. There is a nice story about Sanatana Goswami. He had a touchstone, and this stone was left in a pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked Sanatan for the most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only property of a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami, otherwise it would not have been kept in such a place. This specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. Advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living being in the bondage of a material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha, or things not wanted. Actually, this is so in the present context of material advancement. One uses lipstick at a cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of the material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled. without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. The attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy, because even if the moon is reached, the problem of life will not be solved. The devotees of the Lord are called akinchanas because they have practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of the three modes of material nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual practice. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with material activities. All his acts and deeds which are exhibited even in this material world are spiritual and without affection for the modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental. And one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to Godhead. The material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to an interaction of the three modes of nature, and neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachment for such false enjoyment. Therefore the Lord and the devotees are called Nivrita Gunavriti. The perfect Nivrita Gunavriti is the Supreme Lord, because he never becomes attracted by the modes of material nature, whereas the living beings have such a tendency. Some of them are entrapped by the illusory attraction of material nature. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees, and the devotees are the property of the Lord reciprocally, the devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is a natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries and poverty, or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. The unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendentally attached to one another. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is called Atmarama, self-satisfied. Self-satisfied as he is, he's the master of all monads who seek to merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monads merge within the personal effulgence of the Lord, called the Brahmajyoti, but the devotees enter into the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material. Om Jnana Timirandasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're hearing Queen Kunti offer her prayers to Lord Sri Krishna, and she's describing how Lord Krishna is the property of the materially impoverished. And then Prabhupada describes about how actually a devotee, you can't give up everything, but a devotee may give up something to get something better. So devotee gives up the material world to get the spiritual world. Prabhupada gives examples about how people renounce, how they give up something to get something better. They would give up their job to get a better job. If you offer more money, you say, I've got a better job. Take that, the job, you know. I can come to the temple on Sunday. I cannot come other days. They will say, I'm working. They're working. So this is their sacrifice. Anyway, renouncing, it's the Prabhupada said, you have to possess something. And he gives the example about Sanatana Goswami. He tells about Sanatana Goswami, how he's supposed to have had a touchstone, but he wasn't using it. And then somebody came and wanted it. And Prabhupada said, actually the touchstone which was thrown in the rubbish, it was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise it would not have been kept in such a place. But this example is given just to convince people that you want spiritual life, you have to give up the material hankerings, the material desires. You cannot have both. You cannot have both enjoying material life and also invent spiritual. So we have to be able to let go of the material energy. Don't keep attachments. So this is what it means when it says nivrita gunavritaya akinchana vritaya. The Krishna is the property of those who are akinchana, who have nothing material. Right? But we hold on to the spiritual. And Prabhupada talks about different devotees. Raghunath Das Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they gave up a lot of wealth to get Krishna consciousness, to join Lord Chaitanya's movement. Lord Chaitanya told them, give up the job. They were serving the Muslims, right? They were serving the Nawab, who was the ruler of Bengal. And the Nawab's a Muslim and he was killing cows. So Lord Chaitanya said, you have to leave this place. It's not good to be. And they left everything and went to Vrindavan ultimately. Lord Chaitanya sent them to Vrindavan. Alright, so devotee, Prabhupada says that the devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a secret treasure house. And that treasure house is in the lotus feet of the Lord. So that's where the real wealth is, taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. That's the treasure house. So we need to take advantage of that. So akinchana means you have nothing material. The devotee gives up the material for the spiritual. You let go of the material to get the spiritual. We want Krishna consciousness, we have to let go of the material energy. The desire to enjoy the material world will stop us. So Lord Chaitanya says, Nadanam na janam na sundarim, right? He doesn't want wealth or followers or praise or anything. Right? What does he want? He just wants devotional service, birth after birth, right? So this is Krishna consciousness. We want to develop that kind of desire. And Prabhupada says Sanatana Goswami was able to see everything as spiritual. So he saw everything is spiritual. Unless we're able to see everything as spiritual, we'll make a distinction between matter and spirit. Somebody who's not able to see everything in relation with Krishna, then you'll make a distinction. What is good, what is bad? But we have to understand everything is in relation to Krishna. If we see things in relation to Krishna, then we can use these things. Just like you have a home, you have a car, you have some bank balance, whatever we have, we see it in relation to Krishna, that have to use it for the service of Krishna. If we are thinking it's something material, then that is not good. We are thinking this is for Krishna, this much for Krishna, and this much for me, right? So that kind of bargaining, that's not good. We have to understand everything is for Krishna. We have to use everything in relation to Krishna. So Krishna consciousness is Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta
Vairagya
Uchate, right? Real renunciation is to see everything in relation to Krishna, right? But if we don't see it in relation to Krishna, we think, oh, I like this, I don't like that. Oh, I want this, I don't want that. This is all the business of the mind. We make distinction, we accept one thing and we reject something else. So that's manodharma, the activities of the mind. That's a material platform. But on the spiritual platform, we'll see everything in relation to Krishna and use everything for Krishna's service. So that, of course, that takes some advancement. But we have to train the mind. We have to see everything in relation to Krishna. So Prabhupada said advancement of material vision is a stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Right? The more we increase our material life, the more sophisticated, the more we're thinking more nice, comfortable, advanced living. We're thinking this is to be very nice, but actually it's a big block to spiritual advancement. We have to learn that spiritual advancement means to give up the material things. Right? Material advancement, Prabhupada said, is called anartha. Artha means what is valuable, and anartha means what has no value. So we should give up these things which have no value. But people are very attached. And Prabhupada talks about how people will spend money, the makeup things, the lipstick and all these things, they will spend so much money for these things. Every day, millions of dollars are spent on makeup. Women buy so many creams and things for the body. Not only women, men also. Men also like to spend things for the aftershave lotion and this different things they will have also. There's not really so needy. They're unwanted things. They're all because of the material consciousness, the body consciousness. We're thinking the body to be very important. So we spend a lot of time and money on the body, and we don't take care of the soul, right?
Yeah.
People spend, those who spend a fortune for the body, to preserve the body and to make the body look nice. We'll spend so much money. People will get the latest fashions, the latest models, whatever they can get. And they want, it's all decoration of the body. So we have to understand that the real problem in life is that we're spirit souls, and that we're in this temporary material body, and we're taking birth again and again because we're so attached to material enjoyment. We're so attached to taking care of the body. And Prabhupada said going to the moon doesn't solve the problem either. Because people go there, they have to come back. Even if you stay there on the moon, but still on the moon is in the material world. There's also birth and death. So you don't get free, you don't solve the problems of life just by going to the moon. So all the material things, they're all just a combination of the three modes of material nature. All the different objects and the pleasures of the material world, they're all different combinations of the three modes of nature. We have to transcend the material nature. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Trigunya Vishaya Veda, nice Trigunya Bhavajuna. Rise above the modes, be transcendental to all of them. And how to get free of the modes? Well, Devi Esha Gunamaye,
Mama Maya Prabhatya.
Duradyaya,
Mama Maya.
Mam Eva Ye Prapajante, Mayamitam Tarantite. Right? That this material energy is very difficult to overcome. The modes of nature are very hard to get free. They're gunas.
Yeah.
Raja guna, tama guna. Guna is ropes. We're tied up. We have to get free of the ropes. How to get? We have to surrender to Krishna. Take shelter of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Somebody who is free, then they can free us from the modes of nature.
Yeah.
But if we're tied up ourselves, then somebody else who's also tied up, they cannot free us. We have to get rid of the material energy. So that Prabhupada said, the less we possess the material of the material world, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress. The less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress.
Oh.
So we
should not possess a lot of material things.
Yeah, we should try to keep it simple. So Prabhupada said, Krishna has no connection with material activities. All his activities are spiritual, have nothing to do with the material energy. He comes in this world, he leaves this world. We have to understand that his birth and activities are all transcendental. This is one of the most important verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma chame
divyam yo me te
evam yo veti
tatvata
tatvadiham
punarjanma
naiti mamite. So Arjuna. So one who understands the janma and the karma to be divyam, then Tatvadiham punarjanma naiti mamiti. So Arjuna, when you give up the body, you don't have to come back again. You don't have to, so that's the goal. Very important verse in Bhagavad Gita, you see. That if we understand the birth and the activities of Krishna, how they're all transcendental. Now our birth, our activities are often just material. You know, our birth is certainly material, and many of our activities are on the material platform. And so this is the problem. We're trying to lord over the material nature. We want to enjoy the material world. So Prabhupada said the Lord and his devotees, they have no attachment for false enjoyment. They're not attached to the material world. The Lord and his devotees are Nivrita Gunavriti. Nivrita Gunavriti. Right? What does it mean?
Nirvrita Gunavriti.
That means we're not
affected by the three modes of the nature.
Right. We're never attracted by the material energy.
Nirvrita Gunavriti.
But we have that tendency, we have the tendency to become attachments. We're attracted by the illusion of the material energy. So Prabhupada then continued, he said, the Lord is the property of the devotees. The devotees have given up everything, but they have a special treasure house, the lotus feet of the Lord. So the devotees, they gave up everything material to take shelter, to have the Lord. And Prabhupada said, the Lord is the property of the devotees, and the devotees are the property of the Lord, reciprocally. So in this way, devotees they're transcendental to the three modes of material nature. The pure devotees are different from the mixed devotees. Right? They're mixed devotees. Mixed devotees means they come to Krishna, but they come with some material desire. Right? What are the material desires?
Fame. I want wealth.
Namam duskritin.
The distressed. The desire of wealth, and the one who is
Chaturveda Vijantimam Jnana Sukritino Arjuna Arto Jignasur Artati Jnani Cha Bharata Shambha. Meaning?
The distressed, the desire of wealth, one who is seeking after knowledge, one who is curious.
Okay.
Yeah. All these four people.
So they're all mixed devotees. They're not pure devotees. Unalike devotees, they are pure devotees. They have no desire. But the mixed devotees, when they come to Krishna, they want something. Maybe they want to get free of their suffering, or they want to get some knowledge or something. Or just they come out of inquisitiveness. But they want something. Maybe they have questions, they want questions answered. But what happens, sometimes people come with questions, and then after a while they have no more questions, and they go away, they don't come anymore. And some people, they come, they want wealth, and they get wealth, they go away. And some people are in distress, and after some time they're not in distress anymore, and they go away. But if somebody if they get knowledge, then if they come to the position of knowledge, then they won't forget the knowledge. So it's important to bring people to the platform of having knowledge, to understand properly. So the unalike devotees, they are transcendentally attached to the Lord, and the Lord is attached to them. So the Lord has nothing to reciprocate. He is Atmarama. Atmarama, one who takes pleasure in the self. Self-satisfied, Atmarama. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam, the Atmarama Sloka. Lord Chaitanya explained it,
To Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
Yes, and then to also Sanatana Goswami. Atmaramascha munayo nirgranta apiruprame korvanti ahaita kimbhatim itam bhutaguno harihi. Because the people cannot understand how it is that devotees are so eager to hear about Krishna. They want to hear all the pastimes of Krishna, but they're supposed to be detached. They're supposed to be detached from everything. They give up everything, but they're so attached to hearing about Krishna. So that they've given up one attachment for another attachment. But people can understand that attachment to hear about Krishna, that is transcendental. It is not material. Right? Lord Krishna and the gopis, their pastime are all transcendental. They're not material. People don't understand. They're thinking to be something mundane, something material. And the example is given, Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, he was Atmarama. He was completely self-satisfied. He had no material desire. He was wandering everywhere. He was the son of Vyasadeva, and he was wandering everywhere. And he was appearing like a madman. People thought he was him, but actually he was a great soul. He was a liberated soul. People could not recognize him. So the Atmarama, the Lord is Atmarama. He doesn't want, and similarly devotees also, or self-realized, they're also Atmarama, but they take pleasure in hearing about Krishna. That's the pleasure of the devotee. You have to have some pleasure. Prabhupada said, you give up something to get something better, right? You give up one job, you get a better job. Right? Somebody gives up a job, you hope you can get a better job. So the same way, devotees, they give up the material world to get the spiritual world, to get spiritual life. So this way they experience the highest pleasure. The pleasure of hearing and chanting about Krishna is so satisfying that they don't want anything else. They have nothing else. They don't want anything else. So Lord Krishna is described in Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Kaivalya is that oneness. So Krishna is the master of all the monists who want to merge into the existence, right? The monists, their goal is merging, oneness, liberation. But liberation for them, Sayuja Mukti, entering into the oneness. So the monists, they merge into the effulgence, the Brahmajyoti. But the devotees, they enter into the pastimes of Krishna. So there's a big difference. So going into the pastimes of, going into the oneness is also spiritual, but it's not as good as entering into Krishna's planet. So people don't understand this. It's very common that impersonalists, they just want to they just want liberation. Their goal is liberation, and liberation for them is merging into the oneness, to give up their identity and become one with the Brahman. But actually, even in the Brahman, they keep their individuality. They enter into that Brahman, but they're thinking that they will become one with the Brahman. They have that idea that they'll merge. But devotees, they enter into the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So that's much higher pleasure. The pleasure of entering into the Lord's pastimes is much, much, much better than the pleasure of merging. Merging into the oneness, there's no suffering, but there's no real pleasure either. But there's no suffering. But you can experience real pleasure when you enter into the pastimes of the Lord. Okay, so any questions here? Any questions, anybody?
Guru Maharaj?
Yes?
Okay. One minute. I just put the volume. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, now it's okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Thank you. So, Gurudev, you said that it's not possible to mix, to join material life and spiritual life. And in an ideal position, devotee should give up his material life for the sake of spiritual life. But on the other hand, we are told very often that we should find the balance between material life and spiritual life. Would you please explain how to join these two statements?
Yes. Well, in the beginning, You have to balance your material life with the spiritual life. In the beginning, you're not able to fully give up the material. So in the beginning, we're encouraged to balance, you know. In the beginning, you're coming to Krishna consciousness, so you have to maintain the material life and at the same time practice spiritual life. You have to find time to chant and to hear. Not everybody is able to just give up everything and take up spiritual life. But for people who are more advanced, who are more developed in their Krishna consciousness, then they can go further. They can minimize, they can gradually give up the material things. Yeah, we give the example about the train running on 2 tracks. You have to balance, you know. So the tracks have to be level, the material and the spiritual. You have to balance the two. But as you go on in Krishna consciousness, and as we come like towards the end of life, at the end of life, you know, people are retired, you know, like you know, retired there in Mayapur, and you can fully devote yourself to the service of Krishna. You know, you don't have to worry about material life. You don't have to be thinking about the job or the family, these things. You can concentrate fully on Krishna consciousness. You see?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, and my experience was that I felt very quickly that material life disturbs to the spiritual life very much. And I felt that it cannot be joined by my experience. So, yes, Gurudev, yes, you are right. Guru Maharaj, I have one more question, but this is out of topic. This question was asked on your 11 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, devotee asked about the 4 categories of universal annihilation. So, I also interested in this topic because in the 12th canto, chapter 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the name of chapter is the 4 categories of universal annihilation. And it is said that there is also 4 categories: constant, occasional, material, and final. But then, in the text, in the beginning of this chapter, it is described only 3 of them, really. This is Naimitika, after Brahma's, after the day of Brahma, after the end of Brahma. Then, Naimitika. So the other one after the end of Brahma, and this is an Atlantica. And the final, then in the end of life Brahma, Prakritika, and Atlantica, this is the final annihilation. Okay. But what about constant annihilation?
What about what?
Constant annihilation. Constant, occasional, material, and final.
Oh, constant.
Yeah, constant, yeah. And I cannot really understand what of this annihilation is talking about in the text further. What is occasional annihilation? This is in the end of day of Brahma?
No,
No?
No. Occasional annihilation. I mean, sometimes, for example, at the end of a day of Brahma. Or sometimes there'll be, Lord Brahma will take a rest, and there may be some kind of devastation, some kind of annihilation. Occasional, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it happens.
Also, material annihilation, this is the end of universe. In the end of Brahma's life, maybe.
Material annihilation?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got the annihilation at the end of Brahma's day, and you've got annihilation, total annihilation at the end of Brahma's life.
So it's not clear in the text, Guru Maharaj. It's I confused about this topic, to be honest.
Why are you confused?
Yeah. And what about constant annihilation?
Constant annihilation, yes. The body, everything is decaying. So constant annihilation in the material world, everything is temporary. So things are being annihilated. The cells in the body, all the cells in the body are constantly changing, being annihilated. Some cells are dying, like that.
Okay, and final annihilation, what is it?
That's Brahma, end of Brahma's, that's Brahma's life.
Brahma life, okay. So this is 4 kind of, yeah? 1, 2,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah?
Yeah, okay, thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Okay, any other questions?
Guru Maharaj, and one technical question. Would you like to make recording of our Russian class today? Would you have time?
Yeah, we should do it today, right?
Yeah. Is it okay, like last week, about 12 p.m. in midday?
About 12 p.m. Have we got any program today? Am I doing anything today?
Evening, Guru Maharaj.
Evening.
What is 6:30?
Okay. Okay, we can do it about 12 o'clock, yeah?
Okay, yes, Geneva time, yeah.
What time?
Geneva time, your time, Guru Maharaj.
12 o'clock Geneva time, okay.
Yeah, Geneva time, yeah.
Geneva time, huh?
Okay, now it's just coming up to 9 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we'll have the Russian class today.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Gurudev.
All right, so we will stop here then. No more questions. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki. Go back to India ki.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Maharaj ki.
Thank you very much for your mercy, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You know, that handphone thing didn't, it's not.
It's not working? That's what Guru Maharaj was saying. Nothing happened? He asked me.